casual chat over here, and I've been wanting to discuss this for quite a bit of time now, but I feel like, you know, right now it's like probably I'll just fucking go for it because some of y'all might need it. And
here we the fuck are.
So I just wanted to let you know about ascending to different levels of consciousness and channeling and hearing voices and talking to beings in other dimensions. Okay, now I know how the fuck this sounds, but let me tell you my personal experience, because I'm sitting here sober AF. I tell you what, I'm just drinking water right now. Okay,
I'm sober.
so I'm gonna tell you my experience, and I will tell you that it is very real to be hearing voices and to be seeing things. I personally don't really see things. I know of individuals that can see into other dimensions, like they'll literally see something, but me, I typically see things in my third eye, or I'll hear a voice or whatever. I mean, maybe I'll see a being at some point, but
everything is totally normal.
just want to let you know, whatever experiences you have are totally normal. The thing that I wanted to discuss is something. Now, before I get into this, I do want to say that
I have a degree in being me only.
I am not a doctor, I am not a psychiatrist,
No.
and I don't want to be. We good. I'm an Aries, and I don't need nor want no fucking patience. So why the fuck would I be a doctor? You still in the chat? Okay. I wanted to talk about something, because when I had this little episode, okay, now I'm sitting here laughing about it, but when it was going on, it was quite an interesting experience. And this was maybe, I say it was maybe like almost 2 years ago. Well, I'll make it clear, like me being sober, because like I am, you know what I'm saying, I don't fucking need drugs. I mean, no one needs drugs. If
you want to
party with some drugs, I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that, but when you reach a certain level of consciousness, you're not gonna really need a lot to influence you, because you're kind of already out there. Okay, now me personally, I have no earth signs. I say this in probably all my fucking videos. Motherfuckers will legit ask me if I'm drunk or high when I'm completely sober, so I just want to get that out of the way. Like, this is how I be, okay? I had this episode, like I said, it was like a little less than 2 years ago, and it does to me sound a little bit like either like a multiple personality disorder, or it sounds like schizophrenia. I'm not sure. I looked it up because I was like, I know that, you know, I've never been diagnosed with any type of disorder. I know I don't have any disorder, but in my opinion, from not being a fucking doctor, from no patience, every aspect of that fucking word meaning, no, because I want my shit now. I have my shit now. I am my shit now.
That's that Aries shit.
So I was looking at these mental health disorders and things like that, right? Like some of the signs for some of them are like you're hearing voices in your head, or you're disassociated from reality, or things like that. So the episode that I had was, to me, completely normal in terms of like an awakening spiritual moment. Now, I do want to clarify this, because some of you out there might have thought that you were diagnosed with something, and you could have been, and it could have been valid. I'm not saying that it isn't, but if you have like 1 or 2 episodes of something and you think right away that there's something wrong with you,
No. Okay.
number one, you will know if there's something wrong with you in your mind. Like, I mean, I know how this must sound to fucking normies, 3D motherfuckers. Wait, where do you hear this fucking story? Either which way.
storytime chat on the fucking Oculus.
The episode that I experienced, now I remember exactly, because like I said, I'm a lightweight, you know, if I have a sip of wine, I'm like, you know, whatever, right? So either which way, okay, so I'm very already highly ethereal, like I'm not, whatever, I mean,
I ain't the most grounded motherfucker. It's okay though.
it's all good. I go by intuition. We don't need facts and shit. Anyway, so I had woken up early, and you do realize that when you are like low on sleep, your energy, because it kind of almost feels like you're high. Like if you're low on sleep, and me, I like me my sleep. I love me my motherfucking sleep. Either which way, that day, I just want to tell you the circumstances so that you have like a, you know, we're painting a wonderful little picture here. So I woken up early, and then I was out all day. I was doing whatever, and then I came home, and then I might have dabbled with a few things. And so it was very light, like, you know, you can have a sip of wine, but someone like me, if I'm tired, and all of a sudden I'm sitting there, and you know, I'm high, and so all of a sudden it just fucking hit me like this, all of these voices at once were talking to me. And I don't mean they were talking to me like in multiple personalities, like, because that's why I was like confused if it was like a schizophrenic type of thing or if it was like a multiple personality. Like, I felt like they were aspects of my personality, but it was like voices that were coming from elsewhere, and they were just asking me questions, like, just that would pertain to me. And I was like,
Where the fuck did this come from?
because I had no idea. I was so ungrounded. I literally felt like I had like an out-of-body experience when I was in my vessel and I was wide awake and I wasn't dreaming, right? You could say we're kind of always dreaming, we're lucid dreaming in the Matrix, but that's another topic, so this is just humor me, okay? So I was awake. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I was like, I know I'm awake and I know that I'm hearing these voices, and they were very real, and they were just talking to me in terms of asking me questions, right? Like, let's say whatever, you have specific goals and missions, and then they were just talking to me, asking me about, if you want this to occur, are you willing to do this? Like, stuff about me, right? So if you have an experience like that where there are different voices coming at you, but they're talking about things that make sense to you, right? Let's say this is an example, right? Let's say you want a new job, you know, a voice might say to you out of nowhere, are you willing to give up your old job, right? Like something like that. But this was just like
Everything.
I mean, everything. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't know if it sounded like a schizophrenic, whatever, blah, 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 but I was so ungrounded when this shit was going on. And I was just hearing all these voices. And, you know, it was an interesting time because I didn't know how to get fucking grounded because I was legit fucking zooted. Like, I don't know where the fuck I was. Like, I was there and I saw my surroundings. I'm like, I know where the fuck I'm at, but I don't know where I'm at here. Because all the voices start talking to me and I'm answering them too.
Mind you, okay? Mind you.
I looked like I fucking needed to go in a padded cell, like, honestly, because I started crawling around on the floor in figure eights on my hands and knees because I was feeling like my soul was like too big for my fucking vessel, for my physical vessel. And it's a weird experience. Like, I don't know if any of you have ever had this experience. Maybe you haven't, that's why I'm talking about it, but either which way, it's interesting going through that because you're kind of like, what the fuck, especially if that, like, you've not had that experience before, as I didn't. Like, I'd had interesting other experiences, but this one, like I said, because I hadn't gotten a lot of sleep that night, I was already wired, so it was like, it's like amped up, whatever, okay? Might be different for everyone, but for me, that's what did it, and I know that, looking back on it now. So I started crawling around because I'm hearing all these, like, disembodied voices talking to me, but they're talking about things that are fucking valid, right? Like the way I'm sitting here talking to you. Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? Are you willing to do this? Are you willing to do that? Just like, blah, 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 like, about things that would be of interest or concern to me. And I'm like, holy shit. And I'm like, yeah. No, I got you. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. And I'm like talking to all of them out loud. I'm talking to them, okay?
By my damn fucking self.
I had this sensation like my soul was like so big for my body. It was like a helium balloon. Have you ever seen those videos where it's like they'll have like a dog or something and it'll be like with all these helium balloons, they'll make the dog float or some shit? That's like the best description I could give you, the way it felt. Like, so if you picture the helium balloon just raising the vessel up, I was so fucking ungrounded. I was like, oh my god, I need to get on the fucking floor. So I got on the floor. I think I was ass naked too. I was like, oh, fuck this shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm crawling around on the fucking floor, making figure eights, okay? And I'm hands and knees crawling, just talking to the fucking voices. And I'm repeating over and over like a mantra that made me feel more grounded because I was like, yo, I don't know where the fuck. I'm like, what the fuck?
It was crazy.
I was crawling around and the voices were talking to me and I was like, where the fuck did this come from? You know, I didn't realize at that point what had happened. I'm very charged up energetically in the sense that I kind of operate above the 3D naturally, like, and now definitely because I'm like 4D state of consciousness, but even back then I was more inclined to ethereal realms than most folks, okay, as I'm sure you are. But for someone who's just very not grounded, when that occurred, now some individuals, they might be not in a great state. They might start after that wondering if they're crazy or if they do have a mental illness or something like that. And I will tell you, I'm not saying that I don't believe in mental illness, but just because that experience happens with me, and when I looked up after, I'm like, I know I don't have any mental illness. I mean, ain't nothing wrong if you do or if you've been diagnosed with one, but I know, just like you know you, right? So if you've been false falsely diagnosed with a mental illness, you already know that. You already know. Like, you know you better than anyone, better than a doctor, better than a psychiatrist, but you already know yourself, okay? So if something like that occurs with you, don't immediately,
I would suggest,
don't immediately jump to maybe you're fucking crazy. Don't immediately think to, do you have some sort of mental illness? No, that's not it. It's just sometimes, especially when substances are involved, you might be elevated to another state of consciousness where now all of the voices in your head, they're speaking to you because they're aspects of you. They're aspects of your mind, of your monkey mind, and they're trying to talk to you. They're trying to be sorted out because the monkey mind, as we know, is not real. Like, it's a fabrication because it's like the computer that generates the projection that you see in the screen of the 3D reality. We do know that the mind likes to talk. The mind talks a lot of fucking shit a lot of times.
You little chatterbox, this motherfucker.
All of the things that I guess were going on within me, they just all came out at once. So I'm hearing a voice from over here, I'm hearing a voice from over there, and I'm talking to all of them. Okay, so this went on for maybe, like, I don't even know how long, because time doesn't exist, and I was in another realm anyway, so I don't even know how long, but I would say it didn't go on for more than 2 hours. Maybe like an hour it went on. I was just crawling around, and I was like, oh my god, like, I need to, like, ground myself.
you know what I'm saying?
But when that occurred, I was like, holy shit. If I didn't know me, and let's say if I had done that and there had been another motherfucker there that was not well versed in that type of thing, they would have thought I was crazy. They'd been like, that motherfucker needs a straitjacket and a padded cell.
ASAP.
And because I'm crawling around and I'm talking to the voices because they were legit talking to me and I was answering them and we were having conversations.
I don't give a fuck how it sounds.
I know how it sounds, but if you want a channel like this, I mean, maybe you've had similar experiences and you know that this shit is real. But the whole purpose to make this video is because I sense that some of you might have linked, or someone in your realm might have tried to link your spirituality with a mental illness. Again, as someone who ain't a fucking doctor, I ain't saying mental illness is not real. What I am saying is that sometimes the two can be, especially with like what I've seen, what they say schizophrenia symptoms are, a lot of it might be just a spiritual awakening, like a blast from the pineal gland. It might just be that. It might just be that. So before you go off diagnosing yourself or someone else diagnoses you, you know yourself better than anyone. Like, I knew me. I was like, I know I'm not crazy. I know this shit is really validly happening. It looks like I'm having some sort of fucking episode. I mean, that's what it fucking looks like.
It's all good.
It's all good. I could say it. I was crawling around ass naked on my hands and fucking knees, talking to voices in my head. We were having conversations. I said it. Now what?
What you gonna do about it?
That's the whole thing that I wanted to just sit on here and fucking tell you about, because I sense some of you might have had that experience, or some of you might be coming into a mass awakening. And don't get me wrong, after that I kind of stayed away from like sipping on wine or anything for a little bit, but once you get acclimated, because like I said, that energy like supercharged me. It's sort of like you change the oil in the fucking car and then the car starts running really like woo. It's like revved up and shit. So that's kind of what it does. It's like in that movie Fast and Furious, how they have that
fucking shit.
Some sort of gas, I think.
And then they put that in the car and then it's like whoosh, it's like it goes super fast. It's sort of like that, only it's like your pineal gland blasts the fuck open, however method we get there, and you all of a sudden you think you're crazy because there's all this shit going on at once, and you know you're not fucking crazy, but now your physical vessel has opened up a portal that wasn't there before. Now you're more spiritually evolved. So what I did after that, you know, I took it a little bit slow with
The extracurricular things and shit.
but I was like, okay, you know what? There's nothing to really see here with that, because I was like, okay, that happened. I know I'm not crazy. I know this shit happened. I know why it happened, because I was super tired. So that was for me. It might be different, like I said, for everyone, but for me, I was like, that's how that came about. And it was a memorable experience. It was a little interesting when I was going through it, because I didn't know what the fuck to do. I was like, I'm just keep crawling in figure eights around my room over here. And that's what I did. And after that, I realized what happened, and I was like, you know what? That was just like Kundalini energy or chakras, pineal gland, like whoosh, just fully engaged, even though I was awake. But it will rev up your energy. So if something like that does happen to you, just understand it's like a blast of ethereal energy, and it's like the light body becoming more activated than it already was. Like I said, it's like the oil change or the fucking gas that they put in the car in the Fast and Furious to make it go vroom, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that. And then once you have that, you're not going to go backwards, right? Because the consciousness always expands. It does not constrict ever. It might seem like that if the ego tries to block it, but it always expands. So then after that, I was even more, spiritually awakened than I had been at that time. But I'm just, again, saying, before you let anyone try to diagnose you with some bullshit that ain't yours, again, mental health is not bullshit. I really suggest, if you do think there's a valid mental issue going on, look into that for yourself. Use your intuition to see what it could be. But if you know that there's absolutely everything is copacetic in your mind, you know that there's nothing like that going on, but someone tries to diagnose like a spiritual experience as like a mental health issue, you tell that motherfucker right now, shut the fuck up, because you don't know shit.
You 3D normie.
You can say, well, I'm not really, but if someone is rude to you, tell them, like, what you talking about, you 3D normie? You don't know shit about spiritual shit. I would recommend find someone spiritual to talk to about it, because a normal individual, if a normal individual, I mean, I don't care who the fuck is looking at this video, obviously, even if it's motherfuckers I know in real life, okay, whatever, like,
Hey, how you doing?
I know what my experience was, right? Only you know what your experience was, but I would suggest maybe seeking guidance from someone who already knows about spirituality and things like that, because years back, when I first started getting into this, I sought the guidance of some spiritual teachers myself, and they did help me elevate. But always find someone that resonates with your intuition. Like, if you know, boom, this person can guide me to where I'm particularly going, you'll just sense it, okay? But don't let a 3D motherfucker diagnose you with some bullshit, because they know science, right? They know definitions of vocabulary words, they know what schizophrenia means, but they don't know if that's really what your experience was, or if it wasn't, okay? So what I had was an unintentional psychedelic experience, and
It got cray.
but it's okay.
Cause I say so.
That's what I have for you today. Thank you for joining us on this wonderful stroll. I'm Oculus, the alien next door.